Hello Year 1, it's Wednesday today and this is your literacy lesson for the day. So, if you have got the reception booklet, your learning question for the day is, can I read and apply the initial sound P? So today we are looking at the letter P and it makes the sound P. Can you remember the song for the sound P? Sing it with me. Are we ready? Puff out the candles on the pink pig cake. Puff, 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 puff. Puff out the candles on the pink pig cake. Puff, puff, puff. Super job. So, remember, like the other songs this week, teach your adult and sing it together to help you remember the song and the action for our letter P. Okay? So, before we have a look at our activities in our work booklet today, we're just going to do a few activities together. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to practice writing the letter P and the sound P. Okay? So, when we write a P as a capital, so when it is a P, it sits on top of the line. Okay? So, up and then around. So a capital P sits on top of the line. Okay? So it's nice and tall. It's our capital letter. So you can practice a few of those. When we have the sound P as a lowercase, it sits on the line, okay? So the stick goes down underneath the line, that's called a descendant letter, and the belly of the P sits on the line, okay? So let's have a go with me. So starting on the line as always, up, down under the line, and the belly on the line, okay? And that's our sound P. Let's have another go. Up, down, around, and the belly on the line. Super job. Now I would like you to practice your P, because practice makes perfect, and both of those begin with a P. Now I don't want to see a P that looks like this. That's a big curly whirly, that is. That's not a P. And sometimes when we look at your writing, this is what we see. So today we are correcting our P and we are turning it into a perfect P. So always starting on the line. Okay? Another thing that we sometimes see with our sound P is this. Or sometimes it can be back to front and our belly faces the wrong way. But that's okay. I'm going to put a circle around it just to help us remember which is the right way. So look at all of these examples to make sure that your belly is facing the right way on your P. Now, once you've practiced and you've had a real good go, we're going to go on a house hunt. Now, with every sound that you've learnt this week, you've gone on a house hunt and you've seen if you can find things in your home that begin with the sound. So today I want you to do the same. You're going to hunt in your house and find the things that begin with the P sound. Now, I'm going to write 2 words on the board and you might be able to see if you can find these in your house. We'll read them together and then I'll let you get on with your activities at home, okay? So the first word that I think you might find in your home is a P, P-N. Go and have a look. P-N, pen. And the second thing you might find, this is going to take some really super reading. Oh, let's have a go. I want you to chop and blend using that robot, using those robot arms and that robot talk. Let's chop and blend this word together. P-O-S-T. P-O-S-T. Post. Now this is a phase 4 blend, but you won't know it as a phase 4 blend yet, and that's fine, so we can still sound it out as individual letters. P-O-S-T. Post. And we know that post isn't a word. So when we read it, we can think about what it might say. Post. Post. Go and see if you can find some post. So we've had a look at the letter P that makes the sound P, and we've found some things in our home. Once you've found a list of things, I would like you to write them. And once you've done that, then you can have a look at the activities in your booklet on page 26 and 27 today. Okay? Super job. Moving on then to the Year 1 Comprehension booklet today. And your learning question is, can I use my phonic knowledge to read words? So in your book you will have a picture quite similar to the one that is on the board. And next to your picture you will have some phrases or words to read. Now, your whole activity today is about your reading, so it's really, really important that you are chopping and blending, decoding and segmenting those words to read them independently. And we've done a lot of work on that word independently. Can you remember what independently means? Have a good think now. Independently means on yourself, by yourself. So having a good go at reading those words by yourself first, showing your adults what superstars you are. Because if your adult reads these words for you, that's going to be really, really easy. And we won't know how super your reading is, will we? So let's have a look then at what we've got to do. So we've got to read the words or captions, and then we've got to find the person doing that action in the picture. Now, let's have a look at the picture first, because if we look at the picture first, we can identify some of the things that are happening which might help us to read the words later on. So let's investigate our picture. I can see that there are children swimming and they're in a rubber ring. I can see, a girl in a boat. I can see the sun is shining. I can see a girl sunbathing. I can see, they're playing so nicely together. Children playing together. There is so much going on in my picture. If I think about the different things that I can see, then they might help me to when I read. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. So I'm going to decode this. Fleer. Let's keep going and see if I can make sense of this. Flirting. Flirting isn't a word, but I know that sometimes my y sound can make an I sound. Flying. Flying. Ah. I. T. Now some of you might not have done this sound yet, but even if you don't know your split digraph, I think you could still figure that out. Because if you think, if we take the word kite away, flying, well, what would we fly in the sky, and what is somebody flying in the sky in our picture? Let's have a look. There, the kite is flying in the sky. So I know now that that word there says kite. So I'm going to put a circle around my kite because I found it. Let's have a look at the next one. Sun. So break the word up. Sun. Now let's have a look at this. Sun bathing. Sun bathing. Now I know that that's not a real word, but I do know that I've seen on our picture a girl sunbathing. So I know that word isn't sunbathing, it's sunbathing, and I can see her. So I'm going to put a circle around her. She looks like she's having a lovely time. Hopefully we'll have some sunshine soon and we can sunbathe. At the minute there's lots of snow, isn't there? So let's have a look at the last one. Swimming. Swimming. And let's have a look. Who is swimming? We spotted the children swimming in our picture. So we knew that word was swimming because we've seen it, because we investigated right at the beginning of our activity, didn't we? Brilliant job, Year 1. So today your activity looks very similar to this one that we've just completed together. But what you will see is that when you see your picture, you've got to look for the person who is, and then you've got different actions. And when you've decoded the word and you find the person, you will see that each child has a name. So you've got to write the name on the line of the person that is doing each of the activities that you're going to read, okay? So parents, what I'd like from you today is, if your child manages to read the word independently, just pop a little tick next to the word for us. If you've had to give them a helping hand, or if you've had to read it for them, then just put a little dot at the end, just so we know what sounds the children might be struggling on or what words we need to focus on, okay? That would be really helpful for us, because with a reading activity, it's really hard for us to see what you've had to help with and what they've been able to do independently. So that would really help us. So Year 1, if you've got the booklet for Year 1, off you go. Have a really good try today, and remember, it's all about reading and thinking about what we've seen in that picture. So give it a really good go. So then, if you've got the Year 2 booklet today, your learning question is, can I understand and interpret instructions? Wow, that's a big learning question, isn't it? But if we break it down, all we need to think about today is, what is an instruction? Now, your teachers give you instructions at school, don't they? They will say, first we're going to do this, then we're going to do this. So that's an instruction, and an instruction tells us what to do. And I've put on the board here today lots of different ways that we might see instructions. So sometimes instructions don't have any words at all. Sometimes instructions show us what to do by using a picture. What is this an instruction for? Have a little look. What do you think? Parents, I think you might have seen this instruction manual a few times. This is an instruction to help us build something. So we don't need any words, because we can look at the pictures and the pictures will show us what we need to do, okay? And we can see there are numbers, so we go in the right order. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now, having a look here, we've got some more instructions. And if you think back to the beginning of your comprehension workbook, you actually completed an activity all about instructions, and it was making lemonade. Can you remember? So today, we're just going to expand our learning a little bit and think about how we use the information from our instructions, okay? So here are the instructions for a sponge cake. And in the instructions, you can see a word here called the method, okay? The method. And the method tells us what to do. And at the top, we've got our ingredients. So here you have got lots of different ways that you might see instructions. And today, in your workbook, you have got the instructions on making a bird feeder. So what we're going to do now together is we're just going to have a look through this booklet. Okay, let's see what it's asking us to do. So making a bird feeder, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 instructions. And these numbers are telling me what? What do these numbers tell me? The order. Super. So these numbers tell me the order that I need to complete the instructions in. So I can't start with number 4 because I know that I must start with number 1. So let's read them together. Remembering, you can also, if you want to, when you read it the first time, circle any words that you don't understand. Take a bagel and spread a layer of unsalted peanut butter over it. Ooh. Make sure that it is quite thick. So we know that in instructions we have key words which are actions. Spread is our action there. Let's look at number 2. Pour some birdseed onto a plate. Where's my action there? How does it tell me to do something? Pour. Pour some birdseed onto a plate. Press the bagel into the birdseed until it is completely covered. Where's my action in that next sentence? Press. So remember, that's the word that's going to tell us how to do the action. So we've got spread, pour, press. Let's look at number 3. Thread a piece of string through the hole in the bagel. So again, where's my action word? What's the word that's telling me exactly how to do it? Thread. Spread, pour, press, thread. Number 4. Tie the string to the branch of a tree in the garden. There's my action word. Tie the string to the branch of a tree in the garden. And make sure it is tied tightly so it doesn't fall down. So now you've read the text once, you've read your instructions once. So you should now have circled any words that you don't understand and also circled all of those words which tell us how. So they are our actions which tell us how the instructions must be completed. Once you've read it once and you've done that, pause and go and find out any words that you didn't understand. So you can use a dictionary at home if you have one, or you can go onto Google and find a dictionary online. Then I would like you to read it again. And reading it a second time really helps us to understand what we are reading. So once you've read it that second time, you can then move on to your questions, okay? And again, we are still working on retrieval. So by reading the text twice, we know that our answers are going to be in the text, okay? So have a really good go with that today, year 1, if you've got the year 2 book, and then let me know how you get on. Make sure an adult sends a photo. Enjoy your activities today, and we'll see you tomorrow.